Hey, hi everyone. So hope you all are doing well. So then today's video, I'm going to show you the new UI of NoCode backend. So we have completely revamped the entire UX and the UI of the platform. The system is now more smooth, more sleek, and more professional, and it works really fast now uh, compared to the previous version that we had. And there are a lot of improvements and a lot of new features that we have implemented, but the most important part is we have improved the existing core functionalities like creating a database or how we use AI inside NoCode backend. So I'll show you how we can leverage those improvements here. So first of all, let me guide you through the interface. So if you see, we have the two options here. So to create a database, we can either use this quick create database or we can use the AI to set up the database for us. So if I just use this setup quick create database, so I can give it let's say any name here. I can give it as 11th September. So this will be my database name. Now inside schema, and this is a major improvement here. Previously you were only able to add just one table and one column when you are just going to set up a database, right? So kind of weird, like you can why you can only set up a one table at that moment, but it was how it was at that time. But now you can go on, you can keep on adding more tables that you want, and you can create more columns as you want, right? And all at one go itself. So let's say, let me just remove everything here, and now we can start setting up a schema here. So the first thing is I want to have a users table. Inside this, I want to have a column called name, and these are the types of the columns that we can. So I'll let it as varchar, and then I can add another column called email. It will again be a varchar. So varchar is nothing but a kind of string. Okay, then I can add a password. Now here we have another improvement, or I can say a new feature that we have implemented, and this is a new type called password. So this was not available before. We have added this into this new version. If I click password, it actually encrypts any value that you store inside password. Okay, so it uses a bicrypt algorithm there in the backend to encrypt the value of this password, and it will actually do not display that value to the end users or to the public when you actually call the APIs. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. So we have this setup now. Let's add another table called books. I can have book name, and I can have the price. It will be of type, let's say, int. Okay, let's create this. All right, so our database has been created, and the API endpoints have been generated as well. So this is the good point of no-code backend. In just one click, you have the database created, you have the API endpoints generated as well, which is a huge thing here. Okay, so and next thing is we want to generate a secret key, and now we have our secret key, and this will be used to work with the APIs. And another thing, we have our API documentation ready as well. So everything in less than a minute, we just have our entire schema set up, we have the endpoints, we have the documentation ready as well. Okay, so if you even think about this, this is really huge. Okay, if you're going through the conventional coding way, then you have to write like a lot of lines of code, okay, just for two or three endpoints. Here you are getting any number of endpoints based on how you set up your tables and columns. Now let me click on the API documentation. Let's see how this looks like. Okay, so now we have our API documentation loaded. If you see, uh, we got all the endpoints ready dynamically, right? Within a blink of a second. So API endpoints are nothing but the tables that you create, right? So if you remember, we created books and users, right? So it create two endpoints, basically not two endpoints, but the two paths here. So we have books and users, and then we have multiple endpoints for those tables. If you see, we have post, get, put, delete, right? The conventional API endpoints for inside any database that you can create. Let's try this out. I'll just click on authorize, and I already copied my secret key right from last step. So I'll just paste that here, and let's try working with these APIs. Okay, so let's try out working with this endpoint books. So we will now create a new book here. Click try it out, and the book name I can give as, let's say, Harry Potter, and the price I can give is, let's say, 99. So if you see, we have a new record created successfully, and if you see, most importantly, we got a curl command here. So this is what you actually take from here and start integrating with your front end. Okay, so what no code backend does is, this is what no code backend do for you. It creates the database and actually generate the endpoints for you. So now you have this endpoint here ready, right? You have the headers and you have the body with you. You have everything with you. You just need to go and integrate this with your own front end to start making it work. Okay, you have a front end created in React. It can be anything. It can be in Webflow, it can be in React, it can be in any technology that you have which allows you to make the API calls, right? There, let's say if you create a form to create a new book. Okay, so it can be a new book creation form, and on the click of the submit button there, you can just call this endpoint, right? So when someone clicks submit or create a book, and inside that form you will have a book name and the price of the book, and when someone submits that, it calls this endpoint here. So calling this endpoint means actually triggering this API call here. So this is what you will be integrating inside your own front end, and then it will start working there for you as well. So this is how it actually works. Now let's add one more book, and here I can just have uh, Wednesday. I can call, set the price as 299. Let's click execute, and then we have another record created. Now we can read all the books here. See, what you have to do is, let me first execute this, and here we go. We have these two records created. Okay, you're seeing the id as 3 and 4, not 1 and 2, because in the intermediate, like, I already created two records just for the testing purposes, and I just deleted those records, so don't worry about that. uh, but if you see, now we have here the filters option as well, and you can use the query filters to further refine your search criteria, right, or the read criteria. Let's say you only want to get all the books where the price is greater than 99, or the price is greater than 299 or 199, whatever the criteria is, right? You can do that very easily now. Let's say you have your front end where now you have successfully implemented the book creation form. Now you want to have a dashboard there, right, where you will be displaying all the books. There you can actually make a call to this endpoint, right, read books, and it will display all the books there. So just like thinking aloud there, right, how you can use this thing inside your front end. Same goes for other endpoints as well, right? If you want, you can delete a book as well by providing the ID. Now we can create a user. Similarly, I'll try it out and just give it a name. Let's say um, as John. Email can be john the rate ncb.com. Now remember, the password field is type of password, right? We set this field as a password type of field which encrypts the value and it doesn't expose the value to the front users or to the end users, right? Now see what happens. I'll just add any random password 345. If I just click on execute, first of all it created a record, which is good. Now let's read the users here. Okay, I'll click on execute and I'll try it out. Did you see this? The password field is encrypted and no one can see the actual value here, what the value of the password is. This is how strong this password type of field is. And not just for password, I mean, this type of field can be used for any kind of column that you have. Let's say you have OTP, or you have, let's say, a secret token, or any kind of field that you do not want to expose, or which is kind of very confidential to you. So you can set that field as a password type of field inside NoCode backend, and it will encrypt that. So we, as I said, we already have the hashing algorithms set in the backend, which is actually encrypting the entire value here. So you can go on start using this thing for any confidential type of columns that you have. All right. So this was all from the documentation. And if you see, we also have another section called join endpoints. So join is nothing but when you merge two tables or more than two tables and get some common columns out of them, right? Let's say I just want to have one UI or one view here that gives me the book name, the price of the book, and the name of the users all in one go, right? So I'm just actually merging both the tables, right? And this is where the join comes in. So I'll create a join here, not here, but if I just go to back to dashboard, and if I just go to my databases, and this is the database that we created, I'll just click on edit. All right. So this is our schema of this database. So we have books and users. Now let's create a join. So if you see, we have multiple options to create a join. We have a direct option called create join, which gives you a very neat and clean UI to create a join. Then you can also use the SQL queries in case you have a knowledge of how to create a join using the SQL queries. You can definitely use this setup to create your join as per your own convenience. And then finally, if you have the access to the AI, it is the most easiest way to create a join by just describing what you actually need here. Okay, so what I will do is I'll use AI to create a join for me. So I have this prompt with me where I have written create a join for me with books and users. So what I want to do is I want to merge books and users, and I just want to get ID, book name, the name of the user, and the email. So if you notice, these are actually from two different tables where which we are combining into just one view. Okay, let's say, okay, so I think this is fine for the, and I'll just click on generate and apply. There you go. We have a join ready which combines these two tables and we get a view, okay, for that. Now let's see how we can look this into the API documentation, and let's refresh this. Okay. Now if I just scroll down, So if you see, we have this new join endpoint created. I can click on try it out, and if I just execute this, okay, I need to add the authorization header, which is a secret key. Okay, because we just refreshed the page, right? So it went away. I'll close this and I'll just execute this again, and there you have it, right? We are getting no data because the id columns do not match in both the tables. So if I just go on and read the books, okay, I'll just, if I just try it out, I'll click on execute. So what we have here is id 3 and id 4. So these are the records with these ids for books. Now if I go to users, we have the id 2. Okay, so in both the tables none of the records are actually matching based on the ids, because the ids are actually different. There we have 3 and 4, and here we have 2. So if I just create one more entry inside users, we will get an id of 3 because we already have the id of 2. So let's create another record inside users. So I can give this name as, let's say, no code. Email will be code@ncb.com. Password would be my password. Again, it will be encrypted because we have the hashing algorithms. So if I just click on execute, right? And if you see, now we have a new record created with id 3. So we have one record with id 3 inside books, and now we have one record with id 3 inside users as well. So there should be one matching record in both the tables, and thus our join endpoint should work now. Here it should give us some results. It's already working. If I just click on execute now to this join, and now if I see, we have this record. So just see the power here. We are getting everything in one umbrella now. We have the book name. So what we created, we actually created this thing, but we are getting the book name as well. Why? Because we are getting the matching data based on the ID, the common ID here, based on this three. So we have Harry Potter, the name no code, the email is no code backend. Okay. Now you can think of how you're going to use this. Okay, inside your front end. This is all the logic you have to use there, right? You got all the tools now. So you are aware of what these actually means and how you can actually use them, but you have to actually integrate them, right? So you get the curl command again for the joins as well here. Okay, and you get the query parameters as well in case you want to further refine the search already. So this is how the no code backend is actually working. Now if I just go back to the dashboard, if you are aware of the sql queries, you can go on and you can use the sql queries as well. You can create any complex scenarios that you want using the sql queries. Okay. Okay. And if you see, we also have the option to edit this join itself. So if I just click on edit, you get what how this join was actually created. Okay, so we can now update this join to add or remove any columns that we want. Okay, so I think this is all good now. I'll just cancel this out. And on the left side we have more features here. So if you are on a particular plan that allows you to invite users, and you can go on, you can invite the users based on the limits that you have. Okay, and the quota of the databases will be allocated from the total databases from your plan here, right? If I go to this shared with me, inside this tab you will be able to see all the databases that have been created by the invitees. Okay, and here you can actually filter those as well by the invitees who have created what database, right? And then you can have the option to add your custom domain as well, and this is again based on the plan that you have, because this option is not available on all the plans. So the custom domain is there just to run the API documentation on your own domain. Okay. So we saw that API documentation, right? If I just go back to that documentation here, it is running on the api.nocodebackend.com. What that custom domain feature will do is it will actually just replace this api.nocodebackend.com with your own custom domain or subdomain, whatever you have. Okay, this is what it will do. And then we have the plans and limits, and here what we have done is we have added additional credits. If you want to purchase the credits at one time price, you can go on, you can purchase the additional databases as well, or you can purchase the AI agentic calls there. So we are not calling them as just AI calls, but these are agentic calls because it is not doing just one thing. A single AI call performs multiple actions for you. Okay, it works on the databases, it works on the documentation, it refines most of the stuff there in just one call. Okay, so take advantage of them, because I mean soon we are going to make this as a monthly subscription. So right now we are offering these credits at one time price. So you can go on, you can stack any number of credits and they do not expire. Okay. So they will keep there with you until the your plan or your account is active. These credits will still remain with you. And these are available right now for one time price. And later on we will be actually moving to the monthly subscriptions or the yearly subscription for these credits. All right. So this is all here, and I think one thing is left, which is the AI setup. Okay. So again, this is more easier now than before. So if I just go to AI Builder, you have a couple of prompts ready. Okay, you can just use them as well if you want. Let's say I want to create a LMS kind of database, so it will just predefine this thing for me, and you can go on, you can edit this based on your preferences. So what I will do is I'll just use my own custom prompt, and you are just not hard coded. You are not bound to use these kind of prompts. You can just use any natural language that you have. I can say I need a database called movies. It should have tables for uh, Hollywood and Bollywood. Right, so Hollywood and Bollywood are two most popular uh, places of where the movies are actually shoot. So we have Hollywood and Bollywood, and then I need to have columns called movie name, movie release date. Okay, yeah, movie release date and the movie genre. So genre. So it can be this. Okay, the genre will be a drop down action, sci-fi, romance. So very generic prompt, how an end user is going to think about this, right? Though I'm well aware of this, so I can go and I can give a very detailed prompt as well, which is actually good. But if you're someone who has right now very less idea like how you want to get started, so you can just give whatever you're thinking here, right? So this is a very generic prompt. I just need to have a movies database which contains Hollywood and Bollywood, and I need to have these columns: movie name, movie release date, and movie genre. Now, how the AI will work is it will now determine we need to create a database of movies, and we have to create two tables, Hollywood and Bollywood, and each table will have these columns. Okay, and this genre column should have these three options. Okay, I'm just going to click on send request, and it is actually working on our database. All right. So we have our database ready, and if I just go to the documentation for this, so we have this movies here, and I can just go to the API doc. We have this movies. Now we have Bollywood and we have Hollywood, right? Let's see the columns. We have the movie name, we have the movie release date, and we have the movie genre. How good is this, right? So we have the entire schema, the database, and the endpoints along with the documentation ready in just one AI click. This is what an AI agentic call means. So we are not just using one model in the backend, we are using multiple LLM models to perform different activities. So that's why it is called as AI agentic call. So the agents are actually working in the backend to make everything wrap up together to give you the entire uh, final output. So again, you can go and you can edit the database of movies and you can add more tables, more columns, whatever you want. So I hope this was helpful. So in case you have any queries or any questions, please email our support and we'll try to respond to your queries as soon as possible. Thank you.